One Piece is one of the very few stories that has seen success in every medium it was put to. Highest selling manga of all time. One of the biggest, longest running, popular anime with a huge fan base. Yet somehow, the most shocking success of One Piece was the live action adaptation on Netflix, which to be very honest is not even the best version of this story. But what the live action achieved almost seemed impossible at that time. Adapting the wacky, weird world of anime in live action. Not only that, the amount of people this show brought to anime was simply insane. People were always too turned off by the sheer weirdness of anime that they could never see the absolutely brilliant, masterful stories hidden behind it. But the live action One Piece found somewhat of a middle ground of wacky fun and the stories of adventure it was trying to tell. But one thing was very evident, it was far from perfect. The loyal anime ignored the shortcomings because it was doing such a faithful adaptation that it only felt right to support it at that time. The new audience gave it a chance because it was such a new experience for them that they were willing to overlook its mistakes. But that was for the first season. When the second season will be arriving after 3 years, both loyal fans and new viewers that joined this journey with the first season will be expecting a certain level of excellence that has to surpass the first season. So now that the first teaser for the second season is here, let's try to break down if this looks like something that can fulfill those expectations. Scope. One of the lackings of the first season was that it lacked the scope of the vast world of One Piece. They were trying to mostly shoot on indoors, stripping the feel of a great adventure. This trailer definitely feels an improvement in that aspect. Looks like they have shot some scenes in outdoors that will provide some very necessary natural feel to it. Even from the point of view of sets and CGI, it definitely feels an improvement. The Lockdown, the Whiskey Peak, the massive red line, Reverse Mountain, all were definitely providing the feels of a great adventure. New characters. Even though there will be many new characters, they only showed 4 major characters in this trailer. Miss Wednesday, Miss All Sunday, Smoker and Brogy. As far as the casting goes, it seems so far that they have done a great job. But I would still need to see them in a more fleshed out scene to form an opinion. But considering how the original creator Eiichiro Oda personally approved the castings, I don't think there should be a problem with that. I loved the flower petal effects around Miss All Sunday. I was not sure if they were gonna do that, but I loved that they did it and did it so well. In Smoker's case, the cigars, the bike, the hair, the costume, everything looks great. I also liked the little detail when he steps on the ground and the smoke comes out. Makes me really interested to see how they are gonna pull off his Logia powers. Miss Wednesday looks good, but never thought they would also show that weird little weapon thingy of hers. Makes me think, are they gonna show Karu or would that be too expensive and weird to pull off? And as for the giant Brogy, he looks much better than I thought he would look, but also not perfect either. Looks like they have gone the perspective route rather than CGI, and I think that's good, not only for their budget but also that helps to provide a realistic look. Action. One of the most significant improvement that was visible in the trailer was the action sequences. The wire work looked more seamless, the shots looked less junky, and the CGI of Luffy's stretching power also looked more impactful. Hopefully they also did a great job on the choreography department, because if they successfully pull this off, there could be some iconic scenes in this season. I'm looking at you, Zoro. Changes from the anime. One thing that has been very clear from the first season that they are changing things from the anime or manga. Streamlining stories, cutting out side plots or gags or even characters for that matter. And that also seems the case in this trailer. Now I do think it works for the most parts, but I also think sometimes they are streamlining it too much. Like some of the character traits are missing. Zoro barely laughed in the first season. And if you have seen the anime, then you know he's a pretty goofy guy. But this trailer made me realize something. They are consciously cutting out the goofy part to make it look like a more serious adventure that may cater to the general audiences better. For better or worse, that did seem to work for them in the first season. But I hope they don't go too far in that road, because the theme of joy is a very important part of this story and they would not want to lose that. Overall, this trailer looks like a significant improvement from the first season of live action of One Piece, and I do think this has a chance of being even bigger than season 1, because there are definitely more iconic moments in this season. So with slight skepticism, I am genuinely excited for this.